Thanks, Matt. My name is Brajeshwar. Right now, I'm one of the founders of Valinor Earth, a climate tech startup. We use a combination of AI, actually machine learning tools, with satellite data, and trying to make it easy for investors to invest in, come in early and be proactive in nature-based projects. Earlier in my avatar, I had worked with physicians, clinics, teachers, making life of those cohorts better. And in doing so on the side, many companies, many people have earned millions of dollars. Right now, my focus is on climate and hoping that I will leave the planet much, much better for my daughters and their friends. So the idea is that let's invest in nature. Last year, carboncredits.com reported that the investment into nature-based solutions was about $154 billion. For nature-based projects to be successful, being part of our effort towards net zero by 2050, we need to be investing more. We need to be investing roughly around $384 billion by 2025 in the next 2 years. By 2050, we need to be investing a lot more, something in the range of $675 billion a year. The efforts, and this effort is not only from the public, the government, the big companies, the private companies, but it has to come from everyone. Everyone can do their part. However, while we still play our role and we should get more and more involved, we need to invest our time, our effort, and money for the betterment of our planet, for the upcoming generations, our children, and their friends. However, there's quite a big problem. There are lots of problems. Many projects, climate projects, nature projects, are laden with frauds. There's lack of accountability, and there's no easy way to know what is happening with the projects. In fact, if you have been following very recent articles by The Guardian, a lot more projects are kind of like defunded, and fraud has been unearthed, and people are trying to figure out what to do with it. So the idea that if you can have an accountability on top of that, monitor and report you yourself, and on top of many other verifiers such as VETA, it becomes a lot more easier to get projects off the ground, getting in front of investors and get investment. So we need data, a lot more data, if not real time, but regularly updated data, both from the ground and above. One of the undisputed and most trusted data is from satellites that records from the sky. You can't go tinker with it. You can't modify it. You can't change it. It's an authentic raw data that sees from the sky. Yes, satellite data is in fact costly, and not every project can afford them. In fact, one of the biggest blocker to start a project, especially in the Asian region, India, is a lack of data to prove that its feasibility and its predict its impact on what's coming with it. What will be the ROI? The investor needs to know, right? So we have at Valinor Earth, we have written a few in-house AI algorithms to make freely available satellite data into enhanced data, making it readily available to be used anywhere on Earth. The project can be in Vietnam, the project can be in India, the project can be in the Philippines. We'll be able to use that. It can even be in UK, Europe, in USA, wherever it is, it doesn't really matter. So our idea is that we will be able to generate predictive analysis, helping investors take very informed decision to invest very early on, creating an immediate impact right away. We make the life cycle of projects while involving all of the stakeholders, the creators, the provers, the researchers, and everyone to move along with regular monitoring and reporting. So the good thing about nature, the good thing about nature-based projects is that besides just removing the carbon dioxide, the greenhouse gas emissions, the benefits are immense. There can be enhancement and improvement in biodiversity, and give you a much, much better social well-being. This can even create new jobs, which might otherwise have not been possible. the idea of a very, a thriving circular local economy is something that we all can cherish. So right now, we are bringing in investors, the community, and leveraging our technology to make it possible for deforestation of large areas of abandoned and underdeveloped areas. In one of our biggest example project that we're doing right now is in the border of India and Myanmar. We're applying everything that we have there. And in the last few years have shown that the results of investment in climate, it has taken its time. Yeah, it has taken its time. But according to McKinsey, the research company, climate investment is one of the fastest growing asset class right now. You should get involved and invest in climate projects and be on the right side of history right away. And yeah, we are here for the data. In fact, tomorrow is Earth Day, right? So I was reading on the newspaper, out of every project that is submitted for verifications through the verifying bodies, even taking India as an example alone, if 2 projects are submitted, 1 is usually on hold due to lack of clear-cut, authentic data. And out of every 5 projects submitted, 1 gets rejected. Yeah, I hope we can solve that and make it much better for nature-based projects, nature-based climate projects to get investment early on better and be fraud-proven, fraud-resistant. Thank you. I would love to answer questions if you guys have, and please reach out to me anytime. Thanks a lot.
So Brajeshwar, you told a little bit about the satellite imagery, right?
Yes.
So who else is working in this space? What are some of the opportunities? Are they mostly focused on just measuring carbon and biomass, or is there also some that are looking more at the biodiversity angle?
Yeah, so looking at the data, it is much easier to just start calculating the carbon dioxide emissions, the concentration of the emissions specifically, not just carbon dioxide, other related or equivalent gases such as methane. It's easy. That's what people are getting in there. And many other bigger companies, more established companies are already doing that. Pachama, Silvera focuses entirely on just the data part of it, massaging the data, make it cleaner and better for that. Pachama comes to data after doing the nature-based projects part of it. They realize that, hey, data is also something that they need to own and be able to prove on their own what's happening around with it. So we are coming in that whole sphere of competition. Yes, we want to compete there. For us, we're looking at more of a holistic approach. If a project starts today, the moment a group of community is thinking about starting a project and be part of the whole climate action, and while you earn money on the side, how can you do that right from the very beginning? So we're trying to help by coming up with the data and then connecting with your financiers, investors, and then be able to take you through the whole project cycle, help them manage, plug in the inventory, plug in their workforce, the labor and everything. And hopefully the communities run on their own based on how we do the data reporting, the dashboard, where they know what to do. It's practically like combining and making it easy checklist items for them to do what to do and what not to do.
Cool. Actually, I see you have a question. You want to come off mute and ask that?
Yeah, I think he's just answered that question in this way. I just wanted to understand if he has a checklist or not, so that which helps you to come up with this. I think he's answered that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, here's a very interesting thing in my anecdotal experience is that I come up with this whole checklist idea because we know doctors usually do this, even if they know everything about it. Do I need to wash my hands and everything? That helps and save a whole lot of lives. We applied that in our previous try with agriculture. You know that many of the major exports of Indian agriculture produce happens on the western side, on the southern side, but not from the eastern side, because there's needed to prove in everything. It is not because they're trying to hide or anything, just because they don't have a checklist. They don't know what to do. If you give them a checklist of these are the data or these are the things that the criteria that you need to prove for export of your particular item, and you get 10 times the income out of it, it helps. So checklist. They just want to do things authentically. Just give them an option and plug it into the whole data so they know what's happening with it, how is it reacting, what they're doing. So it helps a lot.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Welcome.
Cool. So did you talk a little bit about your forest project? Did you want to get into that or no?
I can, but I would like to give time to other people too. But about the forest project, we found, or rather, I was looking at it more from a personal angle. There's a huge land of underdeveloped area in the border between India and Myanmar. And I had a school friend staying there. They're struggling, lots of problem with it. So I was investing some tiny money personally to figure out how can we grow a few things so that you can at least get the fruit out of it and involve and employ a few people. Unfortunately, it grew up really big on its own, and we had this data. So why not we test it? So we scan the data. We have historical analysis of almost 9 to 10 years of historical data from satellite data from Sentinel and Landsat, and we combine them. In fact, we are one of the very few, I would say, that are able to combine multiple satellite data source and align them. It's one of the industry's toughest tasks. And we were able to prove to some of the investors that, hey, this is what's happening right now. You have the data, you're seeing it in real time, almost real time from the satellite data. Now it is, so they're interested. They are kind of, they believe in it. That's how we did it. So, so that huge nature-based project, we will be able to include the community, let it run by the community, and create that circular economy inside there, giving them jobs, giving them opportunity, giving them something to do in life, and a happy life, making it easy for them, making it good. They will be able to send their kids to school better without thinking and worrying, when will the next money come from? When will the next tuition fee come from? That part is which I'm really, really happy. Every family, we will be able to impact them and make it happen.